Welcome to highlights of Horizon Racing League, Season 7, Round 8 from Monza. It's a wildcard and a sprint race. Let's take a look though at where we stand coming into the Temple of Speed. Tommy took his fourth victory of the year at the Hungarian Grand Prix, putting more pressure on Six Pompano at the top of the standings. Tommy took that victory by 9.5 seconds, only taking driver of the day and fastest lap in second, just ahead of Six, who had a time penalty that pushed him into third. The Scottish was the cleanest driver in fourth, and Storm, Vampire, Godrado, Rover, Bazza Damasaur, Cyberselene and Shawnee P took the points, who were the only driver not to score. That means the gap at the top closed. Six Pompano is only just ahead of Tommy Ash, with Only Mate still also in the fight. Storm moved up to fourth, and a Vampire with the Scottish staying in the top 10 in sixth. We remain 16th, but on double figures, coming into round 8. In Platinum, the battle is still between Six and Tommy by just 12 points. Only Mate also, though, keeping them very much in check. Vampire's not even that far behind in fourth, but the Scottish is now starting to close in on his rivals pretty rapidly. In goal, Storm took the lead there ahead of Bunny's Vengeance, who missed the last round, with Bazza in third place. Joker and Syme have missed a couple of rounds, but should hopefully be returning for Italy. Godrado leads the way in silver, but it is only a 13-point gap back to Dabasaurus. That battle could go all the way to the wire. Vibs, though, missed a couple of rounds and remains quite a distance off in third. And in bronze, Cyberselene leads us by 30 points. We're 7 clear of Rover, and Mr. Sacklebecker is unlikely to get any racing in this season. Bronze win is still on the cards, but we could also easily finish third. And in D-Class, Shawnee P took a commanding lead over Arbon. Ghost Viper and Senior, the only other point scorers. Alfie has raced but didn't score points. Andy and Syke Snopes are reservists from the start of the season, yet to partake in a race. And in the Constructors, Sabre lead the way just ahead of Red Bull, with Ferrari in third, but the battles are close all the way through. Mercedes and McLaren pretty close behind Ferrari, with Aston Martin also their Haas have jumped to 7th. We slipped to 8th ahead of RB, Alpine and the reservist team Horizon Racing. That's where we stand coming into Monza, a circuit that I think everybody knows, everybody can picture in their mind, and one that is surprisingly challenging for a lot of flat out straights. Let's take a look. We're in the Temple of Speed. The Temple of Speed, the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza in Italy. 11 turns, the fastest circuit on the F1 calendar, the highest average speed, and some of the most iconic corners. This circuit speaks for itself really, but let's run through a lap anyway. It's a long start-finish straight, heading down to the Variante del Rettifilo, the first chicane on the lap. This is going to be the scene of probably a lot of carnage. Lap 1, but you brake heavily, you ride the curb through turn 1, through turn 2, and then you get on the power immediately before heading through Curva Grande. You can make some incredible looking overtakes here if you're brave enough. Otherwise, you follow in before getting on the brakes for the Variante della Roggia, the second chicane. This one a little bit more open, heavy braking at first, but you can ride the curbs a lot more through there before heading up to Curva di Lesmo, Lesmo 1, camber on the inside, try and follow it, ride the exit curve before the camber in the second one. You can take a little bit of entry curve as well if you so wish before heading down the Curva del Serraglio, which is just this little kink to the left before heading out to Variante Ascari, a chicane where you can easily invalidate a lap, so you've got to take it carefully across the curbs there, but you want to be straight on the power down the back straight towards the Curva Parabolica, renamed the Curva Michele Alboreto just a few years ago. Not too harsh on the brakes here, just try and let the engine braking do its job before getting immediately on the power once again and heading back down the start-finish straight to begin another lap at the Temple of Speed. So that's the circuit ray in the Royal Park. At Monza, let's take a look though at the 19-strong grid for the sprint race. Six took pole ahead of Arbon with debutants DJ Death Dragon in third. Storm is fourth with more debutants. The Steps in fifth ahead of Vampire, Ghost Viper, Baza, Sign and Cyberselene completing the top 10. Joker was 11th ahead of another debutant, Carnator. Godorado there in 13th and Shawnee P. We took P15 ahead of Davasaurus, Bunnings Vengeance, I'm Mate and EVR Hasho, another debutant, starting at the back in P19. 12-lap sprint finishing positions dictate the grid for the feature. Let's take a look at what happened. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, and 5. And away we go for the long run down to the Retafilio chicane. It's a good start. We've jumped Godorado. We're alongside Shawnee P. It's all going to get a bit close now. We stay right to the outside. Apparently we're getting a warning for a collision. Don't think we actually made any contact, but apparently we did. That's a Vampire off on the side there. We're up to 13th. Shawnee survived as well. Hasho already on us in the Red Bull. We're going to drift it to the outside of Curva Grande, so we're on the inside for the Della Roggia. It's all a bit messy. We're going to get pinged for an illegal overtake. Maybe we are. We've got Shawnee on our inside through the Lesmos. We give him space. We've got I'm Your Mate behind us. Shawnee sneaks through the second Lesmo. I'm Your Mate's there as well, so I'm struggling for space. Gonna have to back it off. I'm Your Mate is through. We've somehow survived everything that's happened on lap 1 and we are 13th. Don't know how that's worked out. As we get out of Ascari, down towards the parabolic, I'm Your Mate is making moves there. Forces Shawnee wide a little bit. Let's take advantage, and we do. We're up to P12. I think Vampire was one of those off. Might be the other Williams of Baza back there as well, you know. Source is also making moves. It's all getting a bit feisty up ahead. We've been tagged. Not sure who by.
Green flag.
Baza has retired. And a VSC, isn't he?
The virtual safety car has been deployed. We need to keep a positive delta here. Slow down.
He really got turned there into turn 1. Not sure what happened. Keep an eye on that delta pace.
Right, drop your speed. Our delta's too low and we're going to risk a penalty.
Too fast there momentarily.
Okay,
Cyberselene is in.
ending. We're going green. Maintain positive delta until the green.
We've done there. As Bunny and Vampire both go by. Back down to 13th we go. Worst time to cross the line. It gives me the thing for clean lap and then the VSC ends, so I don't get the notification across the top.
Watch out for understeer in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past.
Just got understeer through the Della Roggia. We run a little wide. We end up drifting off the corner. We essentially were attempting to just get the throttle application exactly right, and we got one of those clean laps things come up, and in doing so it meant I couldn't see that the VSC was sending, so we just didn't move basically. Are we going to make it out in front of Cyberselene? We are not. Not helpful for us in terms of bronze. Joe Dabasaurus I think is going to jump us as well. There he is. Not sure if Darbosaurus is pit though. Godrado's behind us. So we're not last. That's our first warning of the day as we try and push maybe a little bit too hard into the Della Roja in an attempt to spook Darbosaurus a little bit. Should have the legs on him now, hopefully up towards the Scari. Going defensive. Too far back for a lunge. I think he's struggling. I think he started on the mediums, so I would possibly suggest that he'll be heading in shortly. We ran wide in the wash. Should have Darbosaurus now, though, surely down towards the Retophilia. I'm out of VRS, which is not going to benefit my cause. Again, that would be a massive waste of a lunge, but he's struggling for traction out the corners. On the brakes. Spooked him a little bit, I think. Going to get the traction out the corner. We're through. It's going to mean he's got DRS on us, I think, but seems to really be struggling to put the power down. Those tyres, I think, might be dead. As Joker gets past Cyberselene. I've got to try and close that gap and catch up to the Sabre. Bunny's leaving the pits. It's a very late stop for Bunny. He's on the softs. You feel he'll catch and pass Cyberselene. Oh, we're all over the shop now. Right at the death here. A Ferrari pit as well. That might have been one of our new drivers. I'll be very careful I don't pick up another 3 seconds, because that would mean I'd drop behind Darbosaurus here, and I've done so well to not pick up warnings for track limits. But Hasho wins on debut. Bunny does get past Cyberselene into a Scari. As we head to the Parabolica for the final time in the sprint, we'll finish 15th, which is going to mean we'll start P5 for the main race. Had a couple of little skirmishes, but nothing major. Survived though, that's something. A fairly uneventful sprint race for us then, but let's take a look at the finishing results. EVR Hasho from the back of the grid takes a victory on debut to add their name to the list of drivers who've taken a win this season. They took that victory by 1.2 seconds ahead of another rookie in DJ Death Dragon. 6 took third ahead of the Steps. Arbon, I'm Your Mate, Storm and Sign taking the points. Then it was Vampire, Ghost Viper, Joker, Carnotaur, Bunny's Vengeance, cleanest driver there. Cyberselene finished ahead of us in 15th. Dabosaurus, Gonrado and Shawnee P all finished. Baza did not. 6 though, still leads the way. Now by 12 points after the sprint, with I'm Your Mate just 8 behind Tommy. And as you can see there, Hasho straight up to 17th. DJ Death Dragon straight up to 19th. The Steps straight up to 20th, jumping Ghost Viper and Shawnee P in the process. Carnotaur though did finish outside the points and will sit 25th in the standings, with Mr. Sacklebecker, Andy and Psych Snipes bringing up the rear. Pompano though opens up a 20-point gap in Planham, with I'm Your Mate just 2 behind the Sabre driver there of Tommy. Vampire in 4th gained a few points and is now 20 clear of the Scottish. Storm still leads the way in gold with Bunny's Vengeance falling outside of the points overall, but remaining ahead of Basil in third, who didn't manage to finish. Joker and Simon pick up some points, and that battle is now closing in as well. Colorado extends his lead in Silver Class over Dabosaurus, but only by a couple of points. Vibs did not partake in Monza, so remains on 58. Cyberselene extended their lead in bronze to 31 points. No Rover in the Monza races, so we move up to 14 points clear of the Scotsman after the sprint. And D-Class has got much more cluttered. Shawnee P leads the way by 12 points ahead of Arbon. Ghost Viper's in third, ahead of Senior, Hasho, Death Dragon and the Steps. Carnotaur picks up D-Class points in 8th and sits ahead of Alfie, Andy and Psych Snipes. In the Constructors, Sabre still lead the way, but only just ahead of Red Bull, just a 3-point gap now. Ferrari moving to third ahead of Mercedes, McLaren, Aston Martin, Haas, all sit ahead of us. Williams, we are 10 clear of RB, but Horizon Racing jump Alpine by 20 points and start closing in on the rest of the pack. And it's now immediately into the feature race. The standings from the first race dictating a reverse grid for the feature. Also a double wildcard. No medium tyres and must run a wet tyre for at least one lap. Let's look at the grid. Bazza starts on pole after not finishing in the sprint. Shawnee P, Godrado, Dabosaurus ahead of us in 5th. Then Cyberselene, Bunny's Vengeance, Carnotaur, Joker and Ghost Viper completing the top 10. And Vampire is in 11th ahead of Syme, Stormpoint, I'm Your Mate, Arbon, The Steps, Six Pompano, DJ Death Dragon. Hasho starts 19th for the second race running, and the Scottish joined between races, so brings up the rear and starts in P20. So the scene is set for a 19-lap feature/sprint of Monza. Let's take a look at what happened. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, and 5. Oh, what a drive! Oh damn! Godrado moved, it put me off. I've gone early. It's a drive-through. That's a fantastic start. As we head up into turn 1. As we're in Shawnee P getting together, we survive the opening couple of corners. Shawnee P leads, Bazza is in second. Cyberselene currently third, Dabosaurus there in 4th. He's going to try for the outside to the inside. We'll leave him the space. We survive. There's carnage behind us. The Della Rogers chicane. We'll get our drive-through out the way now. We run wide into a scary bounce over the sausage curbs. I mean, we've killed the race immediately. I'm not fighting this. And he's on our inside, but we need to head on in. Asho's in behind us. Syme's in as well, so I think a couple of people have had damage on the first lap. Godrado pulled immediately to the side of the road off the line. Hasho is running the wets. We do have to run the wet tyres.
Okay, 1 stop to go. Just 1 stop left in this strategy.
A warning for running wide at the Curva Michele Alboreto.
Okay, gap to the car in front.
Joker's also in. He's got a 10-second time penalty, which will serve at his next pit stop. Vampire retires and we get a VSC.
Okay, caution, virtual safety car car is out. Reduce speed and maintain a positive delta on your dash.
He had an instant heading into the pits, maybe. Chunk of the top runners are all in now. I'm your mate Storm's in. We've got Scottish in as well. I'm going to be right out in the middle of them. Cyberselene, we're on the outside of the Cyber. On the hard tyre.
No need to worry about the tyre condition for now.
Going for his wet tyre run just yet. Just enough room there for the steps in the Alpine. He runs wide. Wet tyres should have the traction on him here. Quicker than I am, but has no traction on the wets, that's fine.
Good job, nice overtake.
Gain another position, we're up to P9. Scottish has a 10-second time penalty as well. Looks like it's a bit of a race of mistakes for a number of people. As Godrado retires, and it's another VSC.
Safety car deployed. Slow down and maintain a positive delta. Virtual safety
Allosaurus
car
is in.
deployed.
We're going to come in this lap, snap the wet tyres on, and then do our one lap. Arbon and the steps are closing quite rapidly. So getting out of the way now works for me. 6 is in at the moment. Getting rid of his wet tyres. I'll risk a pit speeding penalty, so we slow down nice and early.
Okay, go, go, go! That was a fantastic stop, faster than we were expecting. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit
Just
stops.
about hold on to the points for now. Joker's heading into the Retafilio as we're coming out the pits on the wet tyres. Obviously we've got no traction. We did it to Joker earlier in the race. These don't feel too bad. I mean, I couldn't complete the race on them, but they don't feel too bad at all.
Okay, roger that. Soft tyres at the next pit stop. Confirmed. We'll receive you at the end of this lap.
Well, we're already out the points. We're going to fall further out of it. Probably, well, maybe not all the way to the back, but mostly to the back. Oh, mate, way down in 16th. He passes us. Shawnee P will probably pass us as well.
Okay, let's go now. Come on. Perfect.
Well, maybe
job
not.
returning there, mate. Looks like a
Allosaurus
nice
is
stop
last.
sign. We're happy with that one. Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross. onto the
Vampires
track.
left the session. Random disconnect there, but we will at least see all 19 laps of this one. Small crumb of comfort, I guess.
Final lap, final lap. Push, push.
DJ Death Dragon in the Aston Martin, so we did unlap ourselves. He takes a win on debut as well, that. So we're on our final lap of this one. Picked up the drive-through for jump in the start. And then didn't realise till we were 14 laps in that our ERS deployment was off. So it's been a pretty dire Italian Grand Prix, truth be told. And Cyberselene has absolutely annihilated us. So I think we could probably, even with double points in the final round, probably kiss bronze goodbye. It's now just trying to hold on to second in bronze, I think, more than anything else. But I think if we can get around these final few corners without picking up a time penalty, that'll be something. A fairly clean race for us, in all honesty. But we'll come home P15. Johnny P's just under 6 seconds behind us. With his penalties, and with us getting none, we will cross the line P15. Another fairly uneventful race at Monza after a poor start. Let's take a look at what that means for the season. DJ Death Dragon taking a debut victory, 2 debutants taking wins, and levelling with I'm Your Mate in terms of number of victories and Storm point as well for this season, with just a couple of rounds left. DJ Death Dragon took that victory by 17.1 seconds over the steps who was driving today. Arbon was third, winning an all-reservist podium. Six Pompano took fourth ahead of Bazza, who started on pole. Bunny's Vengeance, the cleanest driver, in sixth. Storm, Sign, Joker, Ghost Viper, Scottish and Cyberselene took points ahead of Carnotaur, I'm Your Mate, myself and Sean P. Sixth still leads the way then, but the gap has extended even further. Tommy still 8 points ahead of I'm Your Mate, who didn't take points in the race. DJ Death Dragon jumps into the top 10 with Arbon. They jump ahead of Dabosaurus and Godrado. The Steps moves up to 13th ahead of Joker, Rover, Cyberselene, Syme. We slip to 19th, but ahead of Hasho. Carnotaur didn't manage to take overall points, but remains ahead of Sacklebecker, Andy, and Psych Snipes. Six's lead in Platinum is now 32 points over I'm Your Mate, who has jumped Tommy into the Monza round. Vampire and the Scottish now separated by only 2, so the battle for 4th is going all the way as well. In Gold, Storm leads the way, but only by 19 points from Bunny's Vengeance, while Bazza is now just 4 behind the Northern Irishman. Joker and Syme separated by 3, so they're also going all the way for the battle for 4th. In Silver, Dabosaurus now takes the lead by just 11 points from Godrado. Dabosaurus promoted from bronze last season and looking pretty strong to make it 2 championships out of 2. And in bronze, Cyberselene moves a little bit further away from us once again. He's 70 points clear of Rover, but 38 clear of us. We're 32 clear of Rover. Still equally as easy to win bronze as it is to finish third. In D-Class, Shawnee P holds the lead there by just 5 points ahead of Arbon. Ghost Viper is third with Death Dragon just behind. The Steps, Carnotaur and Senior all jump Hasho, while Alfie, Andy and Psych Snipes remain on 0. And in the Constructors, Red Bull lead the way, still just ahead of Kick Sauber, with Ferrari in third, but they're now just a point ahead of Horizon Racing, the reservists, having a massive points haul to jump from 11th before the race to 4th. Mercedes, McLaren, Aston Martin and all remain ahead of us. We, though, jump past by 2 with RB and Alpine bringing up the rear. And that was Monza, fairly dismal for us, but fairly exciting in terms of a full grid. Been a change to the calendar. We go to Spain next because of glitches to Miami. So it's Barcelona next time out. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Do all the good stuff. Thank you for joining me for these ones. See you for the next one at Catalonia. Take care.